Hello.
Hi, everybody.
Welcome.
No, he does, actually.
You guys showed up. You were the best fucking people in the world.
And that's one.
I have to give out a card every time I say the word fuck.
I don't hear it.
Oh, I said it again.
There we go.
Fuck yeah! Oh, that's 3? Shit. See, I changed.
I used to try to keep a tally.
People may die in this panel from paper cuts. I can see it bleeding cool. 3 people dead in Tom King's panel. Will Jim Lee reboot DC?
Megacon to blame. Hi, everybody. You guys excited?
Yeah. This is my favorite moderator, Constance. This is going to be fun. Whenever I have Constance moderator, I know it's going to be a good time.
He says that to every moderator, and then they get really upset when he calls them all Constance. That's not my name either, but I don't care.
It was close enough, Kelly. What's the... Fucking shit. Whoa! Take out a camera.
Welcome, guys, to the Tom King
like
Spotlight
the
panel.
batarangs, wedding rings.
Welcome to Megacon 2018. You guys want to make some noise? Welcome back, Tom, to Megacon.
Oh, thank you. I love this con. I have a ton of fun here, and the people are great. The people are really great. Like, I go to signings here, and the people are nice, and they ask fucking great questions. Yeah, that's why I love this con. Just the people are cool. Like, don't tell Kansas City, but fuck, they suck. No, I'm just kidding.
We got 3 minutes in.
I'm so not kidding. They fucking suck. It's like barbecue this and barbecue that. I'm like, oh my god, I get it.
3 minutes in, and I'm going to have to write an apology.
Oh, they're getting smaller. People in the front row are getting more. It should be a warning. It's like a Gallagher concert. Gallagher, is that the fucking guy? Who's the watermelon? Gallagher. Oh, fucking nailed it. Gallagher.
So you've had a busy year.
Yeah, totally.
You're writing some stuff?
I write a lot of things.
You do?
I write... do you know I'm writing a TV show now that I'm not allowed to talk about?
Yeah, you're not allowed to talk about it.
I'm not allowed to talk about it. It's with a legit movie star. Like, this is like a real person you would have heard of who's won Academy Awards and stuff. Awards. And I hate it. It's the worst. I don't know if you guys have ever written for TV before, but comics are so much more fun and so awesomer. And movie stars aren't worth it, man. Comics are the best.
My husband would like you to know that the toddler in the back is learning how to swear from you, so thank you.
Where's the fucking toddler? I see her. Oh, shit! I was pretty close to circumcising that toddler.
Well,
bleeding cool. Tom King circumcises toddler.
That legitimately...
Will Dan DiDio reboot the DC universe?
That legitimately had the opposite effect of what I was expecting. Joke's on me. So the stuff that you can talk about that you're writing.
Yes, that I am writing. I'm writing right now Batman.
Yeah.
Which is awesome. We just... I put that on Twitter, but we just... Because the 50 sales just came in. So we've sold over 100,000 copies of Batman for 50 issues.
That's a big deal. I bought one.
It's never been done before in the history of Batman. Isn't that
seriously?
Crazy? Yeah. It's the best-selling 50-issue run.
That's amazing.
Because Batman dropped a few times in its life. So, yeah. So that's cool. You guys rock. You guys bought all this Batman.
That's incredible.
Yeah. I literally, my kids, when they're like, I want this, and I give in because I'm a terrible father. I'm like, you say thank you to Batman. They're like, thank you, Batman. So they like really fucking hate Batman. They're like, who's this guy? He's fucking arrogant. I just want a toy. Oh, I said it a lot, didn't I? Whoa, that one's high.
I'm going to have so many pieces of paperwork to sign after this panel. It really does.
Can you see things up there?
You can.
Are there B's and H's?
Can you see things up there, guys?
See, they're saying no.
Okay, hold on.
That's it. Fuck Megacon, I'm out. Oh, whoa. Watch your heads. All right.
Why isn't this working?
I don't know, because I probably fucked it up.
You got it? Okay, so this is even more fun. They can see what you write, you can't.
Sweet. Watch it.
Hold on.
Oh, you're doing the whole thing. Unmirrored display.
Easy there.
I love Florida.
Easy there, killer.
It's all alligators.
Say what? No, he is definitely not giving away things he's not allowed to talk about by typing about them. Nope.
Why not? What am I not allowed to talk about? Oh, so I'm writing Batman, which is cool, and Batman 50 is coming up. It's a big issue, July 4th. The wedding's in it, and then Awesome comes after that. Did you guys read Elmer Fudd? And did you read the? Yeah, right.
Elmer Fudd was
and did
amazing.
you read the issue with the first date, last date? That fucking sad ass thing I wrote. Sorry. So that's Lee Weeks is on that. So he's coming back. He's doing Batman proper for 3 issues, and it's one of the best things I've ever written in my life. And because when I work with Lee, it's good, or at least it's good for me. So that follows the wedding, and then Tony Daniel comes back on, and then Mikkel comes, and we're just rolling. We're rolling to 100. I'm doing 103 episodes. Oh, see, too much TV. And so that keeps going. And then I'm doing Mr. Miracle. Do you guys read that series? Mr. Miracle was nominated for everything for Eisner's, for writer, inker, pencil, colorist, and letterer.
It's the most nominated book on the Eisners this year, I believe.
Everything but the editor, Jamie Rich. So you know what that means. Dude, Jamie Rich fucking sucks, right? Slacker.
Oh my goodness.
Bleeding Cool. Tom King, hey, Jimmy Rich circumcises more people. I have got to stop drinking before panels. Hell of a way to get over a hangover. And I'm writing 2 secret projects, a big event thing that's coming up, which will be announced June 12th. So if you were disappointed that the North Korean summit was canceled, you'll still get some news that day. And you're like, oh, thank God. What was I going to do that day? I was like, I was going to do all North Korea, but now at least Tom's doing something. And I'm doing another super secret project with Andy Kubert that I can't talk about, but it's beautiful, and it's one of the most the most fun thing I work on, which means it'll probably make people cry. So there's 4 comics and 1 TV show. That's what I'm doing.
So busy.
I got 3 kids and a fucking dumbass dog who I love way too much.
I brought you Band-Aids.
You see I mess up. I don't know if you guys saw, but I took a huge fall because I'm not an intelligent man, and I was. I'm sorry if you've heard this story before. So I was walking with my dog, and we were in front of I live on Capitol Hill, like what you see on like all those spy movies and shit, like that big old fucking Capitol building, whatever. And I was walking my dog, and a squirrel came, and my dog wanted to eat it because she's a dumbass dog. So I let her go because she gets some exercise, and I don't have to run. And so she's going, and the stupid fucking squirrel is supposed to run into the tree, and then my stupid fucking dog will just try to climb the tree, and it'll make me laugh. But instead, the squirrel takes a left turn. He's at the tree, like that is the life for the squirrel, and heads into the street. My dog's like, yes, a stupid squirrel. So my dog's like fucking going after it and going right into the street. So I'm like, no. And there's like, fucking Trump's motorcade is coming through or some shit. And I'm like, oh, my dog's going to be killed by Trump, and he won't give a fuck. And I'm running, and then I don't know what happens next, but suddenly I'm flying, and I'm like, oh, this is not a good position to be in relative to the ground. And I was like, well, vision phases through concrete. Can I?
No. Spoiler alert. No.
I was like, boom. And then so I usually wear contacts, but because I'm blind as a bat, but I was wearing glasses
I see
because
what you did
I'm
there.
dumb. And so my glasses shattered. And my face met the concrete, and they're like, let's be friends. And I'm like, no. And the face is like, I don't fucking care. And then something happened to my foot, who fuck knows. And so I sat up, and of course I'm still thinking my dog is about to get killed by the President of the United States. So, and again, won't fucking care. He'll be like, it's the fucking dog. And so then I immediately jumped up and ran after my dog, and I'm blind, so I'm just running in a random direction, blood pouring down my face over the U.S. Capitol. The cops are like, is that a terrorist? Oh, no, that's the writer of Batman. All right, we're cool.
He's probably harmless, unless he has wedding invitations.
And then my stupid fucking dog, who's the sweetest dog ever, turns around. So I saved my dog's life because I couldn't catch her, right? But falling on my face distracted her. So that's why I fucking did it. So this is goddamn a hero right there. So my nice dog turns around, then jumps. I'm blind, right? So I'm blind and bleeding. My dog jumps on me, and then I'm lying in the middle of the street or middle of the sidewalk, blood pouring off me, blind as a bat. My dog jumped, and there's every congressman, every senator, and they're all. You know how many fucking people stopped? Fucking zero. They're just like another. Oh, I'm saying this a lot. Whoa, that was bad. Oh! Shit, I hit the press.
So, I'm just really curious. Did you guys sign the waiver on the way in? I'm asking for a friend. It's me. The friend is me.
So that's the story of how my hands are messed up. I talked about that way more than Batman.
Is the squirrel okay?
Dude, my dog catches. She's the worst hunter of all time.
Okay.
She's like my Roxy. She's the best. And every day at 6 o'clock, I take her for an hour-long walk around the Capitol, and she just chases squirrels. She's like, pulls on me, fucking wants to kill the squirrels. And she never catches them because she refuses to sneak up on them. Like, you have to get close to a squirrel, but sneak doesn't have it. So she's a stupid fucking dog, so she just runs after him. But one time, she accidentally caught one by accident. I'm a fucking professional writer.
Yeah, you're a writer.
You're like, why does Tom White says repetitive shit? That's because I'm a shit repetitive talker. It's all coming together. But you've never seen a more. It was because it was like, again, we're on the Capitol, so there's like all these like tourist groups. So there's like all these kids who are like, yay, happy-go-lucky congressman. And then like my dog comes out of a bush with like a dead squirrel in his mouth. And do you know squirrels make noise? I didn't know that too. But when they're fucking dying in a dog's mouth, they do. So
I can't do this.
So there I am, and I'm just like, and there's my dog, blood leaking down her feet, and the squirrel, and I'm like, oh, Roxy, drop it. Nothing. So Roxy and the squirrel is unfortunately not dead. So the squirrel starts army crawling out, and all these like kids are like, no, my childhood is ruined. And I was like, just come to a panel. We'll do it again.
Batman.
Yeah. So Mr. Miracle is about the meaning of life. And influenced by the works of the early priors. What?
Oh, my.
Should we do questions?
We can definitely do questions. We're going to have somebody come and fix the computer, though, because you've been bugging me to live write on a panel for a long time, and I've never been able to make it happen.
Is there anyone here who wants to be a writer? Is anyone like you, or is interested in how writing works? So I like to do on a panel is I copied it from Jim Lee, just like my art. If you've seen it online, I'm like a Jim Lee copy. So what Jim does on his panels is he goes and he shows you how to draw. So I want to show people how to write, and I want to write a script in front of you, and we'll sort of write it together. Would that be a cool thing? All right, if we can get it to work, we'll see if we can make it work.
This could be amazing, or it could be like Mad Lib style, and you wind up with Alan Moore and a camel. Like, I don't know.
Yes. It'll be fun, and if it's not fun, at least I'll get paid for it.
But why don't we, while I have tech support coming, why don't we take some questions in the meantime?
Anything squirrel related? I'm an expert.
I have several squirrel questions. No. You have a question, sir?
Yes. I don't know how to say what we're doing. So pretend I didn't say that we're doing part. I want to do KG Beast. I really want to do. I don't know if you guys have written the original appearance of him, but it's really fucked up, his first appearance. Whoa. And I don't know if so he's like this, like, he looks terrible because he's got diapers on and like a weird thing going on here. But he's made to be a better assassin than Batman, and he's chasing Batman, and Batman ties him down, and to escape, he cuts off his own arm. So that's why KB Beast only has one hand, because he cut off his hand to kill Batman. And at the end of the issue, Batman realizes that if he lets this guy live, he's gonna kill him eventually. So Batman fucking puts him in a sewer, locks the door, puts a barrier beyond the door, and walks away. And that's the end of his first appearance. So I want to play with that. A guy who cut off his hand to kill Batman, and then Batman left him in a sewer to die. And then he comes back. So I want to do that. Is that cool?
I'm tapping out. This is Brian.
Dude! Constance, you're my favorite moderator.
What did I tell you?
Brian, I've been throwing these at the audience. Do
That's
not
awesome.
tell Bleeding Cool.
I don't know anything. I just work here.
Any other questions?
Oh my God, you're amazing. You're okay too, but you're amazing.
I told Constance she was amazing. Are you in charge of calling, or am I in charge of calling? I can't be in charge of things, so I'm terrible.
Calling who? What?
Calling on.
I'm calling people. Yes, sir.
Yes. Chris Somney, I'd really love to work with. So back in the day, I came up on the iFanboy boards. All right, cool, yeah. My generation of comic book writers who like sort of got really interested in the early aughts, when that sort of the sort of Mark Miller, Brian Bendis, that generation came up and sort of revamped comics, and a lot of people came back to it. We came up through a lot of boards. So there's like the Bendis boards, the Ellis boards. So my boards I came through were iFanboy, which is a podcast that still is on today, and they used to support a collective art. I don't know. It's called Twart. It's Twitter art, and they had a list of artists on there, and they would sort of repost them. And I have this sort of bet with myself that I can work with all of the artists who are on Twart, and I've done a lot. Like Tom Fowler's on there, Mitch Gerrits is on there. Who else did I work? Doc Shaner was on there.
I had no idea that's where that came from. That's awesome.
Francisco Francavilla was on there. The guys who are left that are on there that I haven't worked with are Brent Schoonover and Chris Somney and Gabriel Hardman. I like those three. And just it's like a life goal to work with all those guys, just because that was like my reintroduction to comics and how good the art could be. And Phil Noto. So the guys who've been stuck at Marvel for too long, or like in Gabriel Hardman Somney's, they're writing for themselves now, which fucking sucks. Never let an artist write. That's how I lost Joelle. So
I feel like you might be able to, have a fairly high visibility project that might be able to attract them in some way, shape, or form.
Oh, yeah.
Perhaps.
I know. It's nice working on Batman because you can always be like, hey, you want to do an issue? And I'm double ship Batman, so there's always like these little issues in between where we can find a person. So that's like I'm doing an issue with Matt. Do you know who Matt Wagner is?
Yes, you guys know who Matt, right?
So I'm doing an issue with Matt Wagner. So I was like someone I always dreamed of because they're like, we have an issue, so just like let's get like a dream artist. So we're doing a Matt Wagner issue coming up in Batman.
That's very cool.
Yes. Oh, I like lots of questions. You guys rock.
Yes, sir.
Hey, Tom.
What's up?
Thank you so much for coming, man. I've had the most fun reading Mr. Miracle and what you've done with Batman.
You were having fun reading Mr. Miracle? You know, he kills himself on the first fucking page.
So we should talk. You can come find me after. There's help.
you just like we're on the field. I just want to know what question do you ask Tom King?
I don't know.
Do you have
That's a terrible question.
Is a lot of your writing come from the dialogue and stuff? Do you get inspired by do you just sit down and just make the stuff up in your head, or does a lot of it be drawn from conversations you have with people, conversations that Scott Free has with his friends and stuff? It seems so natural, but it's so different.
I mean, I steal from different people. I mean, I think if you see you see that I stole a lot from Bendis coming up. I thought his dialogue when he was doing everyone mocks him now because it's kind of like he's been doing it for so long, but it was so groundbreaking when he did that Daredevil dialogue and the first Spider-Man dialogue, and when he was taking sort of that David Mamet style and putting it in comics. And I do that too much. That's when I get sort of repetitive. And then he stole a lot from Gilmore Girls, so from Palladino. So I steal a lot from Gilmore Girls, and as I should. Fuck yeah, right? Mr. Miracle. My wife reads she reads my comics, and then when she reads Mr. Miracle, she's like, "Where's my fucking check?" Because I just take the birth issue of Mr. Miracle is just 100% the story of the birth of my first child, and I think everything in there my wife said. So she's mad at me. So in the divorce hearing, she's already prepped for how much I'm owed for the whole thing. A lot of that's just me and my wife, Mitch and his wife have a similar relationship, and he just had a new kid, so a lot of it's stolen from Mitch and his wife, too. So I steal from myself and from other people.
I think you should tell them about writing the dialogue for FUD, on the train.
I do. I act out my dialogue. I say it out loud, and I have voices for all the characters. When I do, the one I've been doing recently that makes my kids angry is, for Joker, I do Alan Rickman as Snape, which makes no sense. Joker is not at all British or head of Slytherin, but somehow when I have him in my head doing jokes, he's like, I'm gonna do it. It's gonna be terrible, but I don't fucking care. What does he say in the fight? He's like, what did brown and Alan Rickman puts random emphasis on words, right? What is brown and sticky? You know? A stick. You know. To me, it's Alan Rickman from I'm old, but from Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves. Like, why a spoon? Because it'll hurt more. You twit. You know. So like that's the voice I do for Joker. So and I say them out loud. So when I was doing FUD, I was doing the whole thing out loud, and I was on a fucking train because I was literally sitting on a train. Being, I'm hunting wabbits, and the person next to me is like on the phone, being like, "That fucking squirrel killer's back." Now he's talking out loud to himself on the plane about wabbits. So yeah, I do that, and it really because my kids when they get sick. Because obviously I'm at home. We're fortunate enough to have a nanny, but the kids would rather sort of be in my office, so they sit in my office, and they'll read a book or I'll play on an iPad. Not that I would ever give them a screen to distract them all day, but that's all I do. But and so they'll just yell at me because I'll be talking out loud. They'll be like, "Shut up! I'm trying to watch Pokemon." And I'm like, "Shut the fuck up, kid!" No, Daddy's working. No, I don't say that. I just throw things at them. Oh, well, that was terrible.
Take the poster.
Oh, you have posters? Sweet. Aren't those awesome? I don't have one of these, and they said I couldn't have one. Because 99% of these posters were folded. So if you see them at a comic shop, the ones they're giving out, they have folds them, but these are unfolded copies. So these are super unique. There's probably like 10 of them in the world.
You want to do like 5 more questions and then write with them?
How much time do we have left?
Half an hour?
Yeah, sure. That
Perfect.
sounds good.
All right, Sarah in the back. Interesting question. Could you hear him?
I heard.
Okay. He wanted to know the age difference, and then if anybody's going to attack the backstory of Alfred at all.
This is not at all canon, so don't tell anyone I said it. But this is what's in my head. So in my head, Batman's in his late 30s, and I would say Gordon's in his early 50s, early 50s. I'd say 51, 52, and I'd say. Alfred's in his early 60s, I think. So he'd be kind of like his parent, old enough to be his dad, basically. And as for Alfred's backstory, they're doing a whole show about it, so I'm sure we'll try to copy it, and it won't fucking work. And they'll steal from us, and then we'll steal back from them, which we should have done. So it'll be a copy of a copy. I like in my comics. I like Alfred as the father figure and the butler. I mean, in my heart of hearts, he's definitely badass, but I like him in that role, and I have enough badass characters that I don't sort of need him for that. I like him as sort of he's the guy who Bruce says something fucking crazy, and then he comments on it and tells him how crazy he is. He's the sort of he cuts against the grain, and he lets you put some humor in the book, and that's the role I like him. So I'm not going to do the backstory. I'm sure someone will, but not me.
Next up. Ma'am?
Sweet.
Hell yeah. Can I get a hell yeah?
My wife was so mad. So I wrote this scene with Kite Man, and when his son dies, right? And Kite Man's name is Charlie Brown because he's named after Charlie Brown. I'm a huge Peanuts fan. That's like my nerd. Like I hang Peanuts comics all over my house.
That's your nerd.
I have many nerds, but most of them involve pictures with words. And to me, the best in terms of the art form that I work in, which is combining pictures with words. Charles Schultz between 59 and 71 was the top of it, including ancient Egypt to fucking now, to everything Europe's ever done. That's the best comics that were ever written. And so, to me, it was a tribute to that character, to Charlie Brown. And so I was writing this scene where his his kid dies, and so I was like, I needed a quick sort of shortcut to show it was his kid. So I was just like, oh, Charlie, they'll have the same fucking name. So I'm writing this sort of scene where Charlie dies, and my son, named after Charlie Brown, is Charlie. So
you killed your kid?
So my wife is reading this comic again, and she's like, what the fuck did you do? I was like, what? You killed your own son in a comic? As to what it's like, it's people ask me all the time that, like, what character do you want to work with? Like, do you want to do like Superman or something? Like, that to me is unimportant. What is more important is the artists you work with and the freedom they give you. And to me, Kite Man is an example of that. Like, you can make any character amazing if you put your own passion into it and find sort of the thing in it that you can connect to. So that's what Kite Man is.
Who was a Booster Gold fan before? Okay. Who's
come at me.
Hold
I'm ready.
on.
We're going.
Who's a Booster Gold fan now?
It's like two.
No, that's all right. There are new people.
No, there's no new people.
I love your Booster
Who hated
Gold.
the fucking boosters so we can talk about it?
No, I loved your. Look, okay,
Hey,
look,
Stu,
that's
right
like
here.
almost nobody. Does he have a question aside from what did you do to Booster Gold?
Yeah, he's like, does he say why did Booster Gold so stupid compared to the Action Comics thing? Wait, no.
Like
Wait,
your
no,
Booster.
but wait, do you like Booster and you hate the arc, or you just hate Booster in general?
Oh,
okay. That's a
see,
separate
you're
issue.
Right, you're
That's
right.
a separate issue. Does anyone love Booster and hated how he acted? This dude, yeah. Wait, I like that dude. Oh, he likes it 'cause
See, he likes. Look at this. You're all. Nobody likes my. Look, they like your Booster Gold.
The thing about Booster was Dan Jurgens, the creator of Booster, who's a friend of mine and is great, had just written this beautiful arc in Action Comics where he said Booster sort of had found some peace with himself and had and found his role in the DC universe, and it was wonderful and beautiful. And perfect to Dan's vision of the character as the creator of the character. And unfortunately, I had told Dan DiDio, I was like, I'm going to fuck, again, this goes back to the Kite Man thing, I said, I'm going to fuck someone up. I mean, they're going to get mentally messed up, and I'm sort of going to take them through the ringer, like I did with Mr. Miracle, like I did with Catwoman, like I did with Vision, like I did with everyone I ever worked with. And I was like, give me a character. And he had given me Booster Gold. So Booster Gold had just reached this pinnacle of wonderfulness, and I'm like, well, now it's time to fuck him up. Now he's going through a Tom King comic, so he's going to be crying and suicidal. But to me, that's pure to his character, because what makes Booster great is his sort of douchebaggery. The moment he thinks he's on top, he's actually about to trip over himself. The moment he thinks he's about to save his dog, he's meeting the concrete with his face. Like, I can relate to Booster Gold. Yeah.
That's awesome. Question? Yes. Yes.
Man, I love that Omega Man. I know, and I left it with this cool cliffhanger where there was like not enough like energy in the world, and all the planets were going to die, and they were all going to fight over what was left. No, honestly, like I wrote a sequel to it. I wrote a pitch for a sequel, and it got rejected. Back in the day, it was cool too. It had Hawkwoman in it. Hawkwoman was the star. Was with and because I love Hawkwoman from the Justice League cartoon. And I was going to do this thing based on Stagecoach for the old movie, the old John Wayne movie, where they're just sort of riding through the desert, but they have something with them that's like invaluable. And and so, I mean, I'd love to go back to that universe, especially if I can get Barnaby to draw it. But man, do you hear my work I got loaded? Maybe someday.
I think you should try that pitch again now.
No, because Scott's got Hawkwoman now, and he's going to do amazing things with her, and I don't want to get in her way. I don't want to get in his way.
Sir.
You mentioned that Dan DiDio sometimes gives you characters to work on, like Booster Gold, like you just mentioned. Was that the same for Mr. Miracle, or was there a character that you got that was already before you?
Yeah, I mean, I've told the story before, but yeah, it was exactly the same as Mr. Miracle. So what happened with Mr. Miracle, how it got started, was Mitch Garrett, who's my favorite artist in comics and happens to be one of my best friends. Fucking cheer for Mitch. Are any of you guys? Do any of you guys own stores or work in the comic industry, or a few of you? All right, that means you can vote for the fucking Eisners. Get online and vote for Mitch Garrett. He's nominated for 3 awards. Vote for him, everyone.
Vote Chicago style. Vote 6 times.
Yeah.
Don't quote that.
Mitch and I were going to do the War of Jokes and Riddles. We were going to do it as sort of a 12-issue maxi series. It was going to be dark and more of like a crime, like The Godfather, like a long crime a tale. And he sells a print of a poster he did for it. And we were all scheduled to do that. And then at some DC summit, someone had proposed this, and it was greenlit, and we were drawing it. And they're like, "Wow, that's a great story. Let's put it in the main book." And have Mikkel draw it, because Mikkel was a little back then was a little more commercial than Mitch is now. And so I got a call, and they're like, "Tom, we have some great fucking news for you. That idea was so great, we're going to put it in the main Batman book." And then I was like, "Oh, that's great news. And you just took a fucking book away from me." And so I went out to dinner with Dan DiDio at Baltimore Comic-Con, and he's like, "Let's go out and get some drinks." And I was like, "Cool." And
I
was
warned
like,
you about that.
Yeah.
Drinking with Dan? Yeah.
Dude, and I was like, "Yeah, dude, Dan is like super old, and I'm so young." And
Yes.
so I was like, "I'll go drinking with him. I'll get him super drunk, and he'll apologize and cry for what he did to me." And then Dan drank me under the table, and I was sloshed. I was so gone. And there's my boss sitting across from me, and I swear to God, I was going to puke on him. I was like, "I'm going to puke on Dan DiDio," not for the first time, no. And so I'm just like kind of and he's like, "What do you know?" I was like, "I just want to do anything with Mitch, and just tell me what you want me to do, and I'll write it." And he threw out, he's like, "Either Atomic Knights or Mr. Miracle." And I was like, "Oh, great! I got a great Atomic Knights pitch." But then I went home, and I probably was too drunk to remember the Atomic Knights, so I just remembered Mr. Miracle, and then I came back the next day, and I was like, he's like, "Are you okay, Tom? You almost puked on me last night." I was like, "Oh shit! I thought I was hiding that." And
Russia is calling. That's disconcerting.
I got attacked by the Russian trolls the other day. They were really mad at me about something. They love Sean Murphy, though.
So you came back the next day?
I came back the next day, and so I said, "Okay, Mr. Miracle kills himself and he has to escape from death." And he's like, "Love it." And that was it. That's how Mr. Miracle started, yeah. It was a drunken conversation.
All right. Ma'am?
Have you ever taken any formal writing classes earlier on, and do you advise that?
I advise to do whatever works for you. I didn't do that. I was in college. I was a philosophy and history major at Columbia. And basically, I always wanted to be a writer, but my mother was in the entertainment industry. She was a studio executive. And I grew up in West L.A., and my father was a failed writer. And my father's not the nicest person in the world. He moved out when I was like 7. And so I kind of always felt that writing was something you couldn't do, or something that sort of destroyed you. Maybe I'm right, or at least it destroys your face. So I kind of always avoided those classes, even though I kind of secretly wanted them. Like my friends who were taking them, I was sort of secretly jealous. And then after CIA, I took these 2 years off where I've used this before, but do you guys know Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey? That's a fucking great movie, right? And you know, at the end when they get on stage and like they spent 2 years saying how Wild Stallions is gonna be the best band fucking ever, and they get on stage and they just like, and they don't know how to play their fucking instruments. And they're like, "Oh, we've forgotten all of our adventures to learn how to be a good band." That's what it was like. Like I quit CIA being like, "Man, I love writing. I want to be a writer. I'm gonna do it." And I started writing, and it sucked, and I was terrible at it. And just like the Wild. I was like, "Man, I need to take inspiration from someone. Should it be like Hemingway or Abraham Lincoln or Bill and Ted?" So I was like, "Oh, Bill and Ted." So like, just like they went into their magic place and like learned how to, and they came back with those easy top things. I literally went to Borders when Borders still existed, and I would sit there with my boy Charlie, who we talked about earlier. It was his nap time. Was between I would have lunch with my wife because she worked nearby, and then he would have a nap. And I was full time. I was Mr. Mom, so I was changing diapers and shit, and literal shit. So that doesn't count. And I would sit in Borders, and they had a wall on like how to write, and it's just like they had 7 books there, and I would just read them. I read like John Gardner's book, I read Alan Moore's book, I read Stephen King's book, I read like how to do dialogue, how to do this, and I gave myself sort of the class I never got. I read the most like I didn't know how to do grammar. Like I was a fucking writer for I'd written for CIA, gone to college, I'd gotten great grades in college, and I didn't know what a fucking comma did. So like that was like shit I had to discover, So I sort of put myself through the classes I never took. That was a long answer. I'm sorry.
You want to write, or you want to do more questions? What do you want?
I don't know. What do you guys want to do? More clear questions.
All right, sounds good.
Then I'll do some writing.
Sir?
Was it?
Yeah, somebody who wants to break into the comic industry.
1240.
Oh.
Do you have any advice on communicating as a writer to an artist? Because I find in my experience, the language isn't the same at all.
Like literal? So sometimes it's a literal like language.
Really good question.
Literal, and sometimes it's like just trying to communicate what your vision is, or maybe just trying to get their vision out.
I mean, it's hard because I've never worked in my career with a non-professional artist. So like the first artist I worked with was Tom Fowler, and he taught me how to work with artists. What I do, I don't know if it'll help you, but my method is I do full script, so it's always like I don't do like descriptions of things and then you do what you want. I do like, this is what I want in this panel, but I always make it really small. So it's like Batman punches Mummy in his stupid face. But I don't say what kind of mummy it is. I don't say what Batman. I don't say what angle it is. And so that gives them freedom, but because there's panel by panel, it doesn't give them too much freedom that I can't see the issue in my head. That's what like I give them specific directions of what I want on that page, but I make it as sparse as details as possible. Here's a really specific trick you can use. You can use gerunds or gerunds, G-E-R-A-N-D, words that end with ing. So if you're writing a panel and you want to, because panels usually have one action in them, you somewhat violate that. But if you say instead of Batman hits Kite Man in his stupid face, you say Batman hitting Kite Man in his stupid face. So if that makes you stick it to one action rather than two. So like Batman hits Kite Man in his stupid face and Kite Man falls down. You won't say it. Batman hitting Kite Man in his face and he falls down. You'll see the mistake if you use the ing form of it. That's a really in the weeds thing, but it's a specific thing that helps.
You also apologize to your artists a lot, I've noticed.
I do. I apologize to a lot of my artists.
Here's this crowd scene with all these horses in period costumes, please. No.
I mean, in my life, I've never exchanged an email or a contact with Barnaby Bagenda, and we did a whole series together, whereas Clay Mann and I talk to each other probably every 3 minutes. And everything depends on everything. Everything depends on everything. Fucking wisdom from Tom King. Whoa. Ceiling.
Sir?
Only if within Mr. Miracle. So like in the next issue, which comes out I think next week or the week after, Calabac is in that, and Kanto is in it, and then of course in issue 11, Darkseid will be hugely featured, obviously. But yeah, once I leave Mr. Miracle, I'm going to leave that Fourth World stuff.
We're sad to see you go. We like it.
All right, 2 more minutes, then we'll start writing.
Yeah, go ahead, miss.
Steve, have you ever read Twitter? No. But this is an honest thing. It's hard.
Yeah.
I feel like in modern.
Yeah.
What I do. Today, no matter wherever you are in the political spectrum, man, things are shit, and it's hard to write the opposite. It's easier now to write sad, and it's easier now to write like I want to write shit that's fun and light because I think it could counter program sort of stuff. I do. I want to write like fucking things that like the best thing Batman can do for you. Like Mr. Miracle is a separate thing, but Batman is give you a fucking break from all that goddamn noise that's in your ear all day, so you can just go home and see a guy punch another dude in the face and be like, fucking justice sometimes wins, right? Like that's the. No, that's the best thing it can do. Not beyond all the subtext and the deep. Like, that's the fucking mess. But then I write something and it's like, oh, this is like super funny, and Booster Gold's being super silly and blah blah blah, and then someone fucking kills themselves in front of him and he cries.
Didn't you like lock him away for a year?
Yeah.
And I'm not sure silly and fun is.
So I just. When you write, you think you're making shit up. You think in your head, oh, I'm using my great imagination and I'm such a master of mythology. But all you're doing is just telling what's inside you on a piece of paper. You can't escape yourself. And so I think all that just shit's coming from me.
All right, we got one more. The gentleman that I missed in the red hood. Yeah.
So if Batman you have like a lot of short arcs, like 2 to 3 issues, where you like feature 1 or 2 characters, how do you like make that pit stop and then like keep the comic book the whole like
Did you have a question?
Yeah, it's a good question. So I have this rule in Batman, and it fucking kills me, but I'm sticking to it for the 103 issues. I hate comics growing up and still despise them, where you're reading an arc and the artist switches halfway through, and it just takes me out of that headspace. Even like, it's even like Perez on Infinity Gauntlet leaving, and then Ron Lim coming in, like that kind of stuff. And like you think of Civil War and how that sort of fell apart. So I made a rule in the Batman, like even we're double shift, no matter what happens, every artist gets their own story. So whatever an artist can draw, that'll be the limitations on the story. So the first thing I decide is where the artist is and how many issues he can do in a row, and that'll be the length of it. And then I decide the sort of story that'll fit that and what he wants to draw. So that's sort of my headspace, and why that's why I'm doing so many these 3-issue arcs, because in double shift to get and Batman cannot have shitty art. That's like the one rule of Batman. Like a lot of you can have a shitty Teen Titans book. Yeah. Batman is the book that sort of keeps a lot of stores afloat. There's some obligation to it to be good, because like if Batman doesn't come out, there's some stores where their margins are so thin that they'll go under. So like it has to be as good as you can make it. So to get A-list artists and A-list artists draw A-list slow, that's a super limitation. So that's the first thing. But then I like simple comics. I write really, unlike like a Morrison or Snyder, who have like these big giant concepts. Like I do my favorite Grayson issue is like he has a baby, he has to walk through the desert to save the baby. It's like fucking 2 seconds of thought. So I always I always keep my eye on a very simple. Even that Booster Gold arc, it was like Booster Gold tries to It's a Wonderful Life Batman, and it goes bad. Like that's it. It's just one sentence. So I always keep my eye on those two things. And so for the 100 issue of Batman, I have a simple concept. And I mean, can I give it away? It's so hard.
No, you really can't.
You'll never guess what it is.
I will get in so much trouble if you... No.
The simple concept for the 103 issues of Batman is Batman loves Catwoman. That's it.
Okay. That's it. Acceptable.
So I keep everything. That's my true north. Batman loves Catwoman.
That's acceptable.
And every arc adds up to that.
All right. So last question. This poor guy has been like Welcome Back, Kotter, Horseshack style like the whole day.
Let's do it. Dude, that's awesome.
Right?
I know it's been super fun. To me, the comic I love the I Am arcs, but I sort of feel like I'm, especially the I Am Gotham arc, I'm sort of finding my feet. And the I Am Suicide is fun because I'm just doing a sort of a heist thing. But once you hit 24 and the engagement hits, I feel like I finally sort of figured out what I was doing. I got the exact people I want working on that books in terms of from the letterers to the colorists to everything. And I was like, okay, this is sort of my team, and I'm sort of as opposed to just Snyder's like one of the best writers ever, and he was one of the best runs ever. And I finally got sort of over that intimidation. So to me, since the engagement, it feels more comfortable, it feels better, and I feel like so it's been easier, if anything. And they have such an easy dynamic. Like Catwoman and Batman, they feel right together, and it helps to write. I write a lot of romance comics. I'm stupid madly in love with my wife. So again, you try to write imagination, and you just find yourself.
You want to write?
Yeah, you want to write something?
All right. So don't move this, and you're just gonna have to stretch.
Okay, I can stretch
with your broken hands.
With my broken. What do you guys want to write about?
Squirrels.
Batman. Batman and Squirrel.
Please write about Batman and Squirrel.
All right. So is it a special?
Oh, Batman and Secret Squirrel. They want a crossover issue.
Is it a special, or is this in Batman proper?
Oh, it's got to be Batman proper.
Batman proper? Okay, so my next issue of Batman after is 56, so we're going to make some fucking money. Batman.
Oh, and Squirrel.
You're not taking my royalties. What the fuck?
Credit them all as storytellers.
I got no problems with Josh Williamson making money. I'm not. He knows. Batman face. So we're calling this Batman and the Squirrel. I don't know if we like that title. What title do you want? Batman and Squirrel. That sounds very very.
We have 10 minutes.
Batman v Squirrel.
Is this going to be like a Squirrel Girl Galactus situation?
If anyone tells Jeff Johns that this happened, I will be very upset. I do not spell properly. You will have to all get used to that. What is... I'm not... I don't know how to spell squirrel. It's hard.
It's okay. We'll fix it in post.
This is going to be by Tom. My name comes first because I'm more famous than you. And a bunch of people in a room. Oh, sorry.
All right, real quick, give this story hit here. We got 10 minutes. So
how do you create a new page in this thing? This is Word Perfect, right?
no, it's just
Word?
straight up Word.
Oh, this is where it says functions. Enter. Well, normally I would do a whole new page here. All right, so
Do you get paid by the page of script because that makes sense?
when you're making a script, this is how we're learning things, right? Is there an insert here? Oh, here, insert. Control Enter.
Blank page right there.
Oh, see, I work on a Mac, so mine's the swirly thing and Enter. If it's Control Enter, you guys fucking rock. This is why I come here. There you go.
Ah.
So when you are doing a comic book script, I learned this from Jeff Johns, comic book scripts are brilliant. Always put a new page on a new page. And that way your artist can just take out one page at a time and suck it to his board or something.
Ah.
So that would, no, page 2. Always start at page 1. So first thing you do is you write page at the top, right? And then we'll do panel. Now I do little tricks, and it's going to annoy me because I do PA and then space, and it would usually say panel, but now it's right up panel. All right, panel 1. Panel 1. All right, so where are we? If you read Danny O'Neill's book, he says start every issue with a splash. That seems really dumb to me, but it's cool. If you like Alan Moore, he usually starts with a grid of some sort, usually a pull back or a pull in. What do you guys want? You guys want to do lots of panels or a few panels?
Or 9 panels?
I do this thing all the time. Lots of comic books where you do a lot of close panels at first, then you do a double page spread for the second one. Now, if you're thinking of your artist and what he wants to do, the less panels the artist wants, the better. My rule is 4. If you do 1, 2, 3, your artist is happy with you. 4, he's kind of grumbling. 5, he's mad.
How's 9?
6, he fucking hates you. 7, he's like, I better be getting paid. 8, I fucking hate you, and I better be getting paid.
So where's
and
Mitch?
9, I'm Mitch Garris. All right, so what do you guys want? You want to do? Well, let's make this like an artsy-fartsy thing, right? So let's do a zoom. You want to do a zoom in? Like we start like in fucking the sky. All right. So I like to do a thing where if I have a specific angle, I call it a camera. Let's if we're in a movie, and I give the camera angle. So like camera looking. Oh, you know what we should do? Let's start with the fucking. This is a versus thing. So when you do a versus
If
thing,
they want a wedding invitation, we're just.
a great way to start a versus issue is just like 2 close-ups of your antagonist. We did this with the Bane thing, just like fucking. Like you guys like old not even like spaghetti westerns, where it's like you start with the little close of the eye. So let's do that. So we'll do panel 1, close on Batman. That's all I do. That's it. The artist can decide if how close they want it. They want it right here. They want it right there. They want it right there. Close on Batman.
It's just a black panel.
Now,
It's real close.
So do we want Batman to say anything? I feel like it's cooler without him saying anything, right? The hum grunt. All right, so Batman. So what I do? So I give a little space there, and we'll do a Batman, and we'll give him a hum. Some people do HH. I do HM. I don't know why. I decided on it at some point. I can't really HM. I don't like it. I'm taking it out. I'm going to do this as a credits panel. So when you're doing a panel and you have no dialogue in the beginning, it's a good place to put credits because the words on the page, the function of the words on the page is to slow down you fucking readers because you need to appreciate how beautiful the art is on the page. I loved silent panels. I loved them to death, but the average reader, including the average me, will just look at a silent panel and turn the page very quickly, and they won't appreciate it. So if you put just some words on the panel so that they're reading something so they can stop and look at the art, it helps. So unless you want that effect, because the art of comics is controlling how fast someone reads something. I'm trying to get you to slow down when I want you to slow down and speed up when I want you to speed up.
The guy in charge says we have 5 minutes.
Oh, so we're just going to do one page. Okay. So we'll do. I start all my credits the same way. As a tribute to Stan Lee, I always put DC Comics Presents because I'm a big Stan Lee fan. So I always put and I put title, DC Comics Presents, and then panel 2. We'll do. Dude, this is gonna be great. You just start 2 images. That's close on squirrel, right?
Close on squirrel. Please have Mikkel draw this.
Close on squirrel. And then we'll do the rest of the credits here. Title of issue. Batman v Squirrel. Tom, type faster. Sorry, this Batman v... You fucking...
So next time, you're going to dictate and I'm going to type.
This is great. Credits. And then you just write credits. Okay. And then Control Enter. Thank you, guys. And then let's do a double page splash, right? See, this is a really lazy writing. If I ever did this, I'd be so pissed at myself because I will have written 3 pages in 2 minutes, and my artist would take 3 weeks to do that, and I'll be like, time for coffee. Just made more money than I made in the CIA in 3 seconds. Nice not to be a federal employee anymore. Page 2, 3. We'll do a panel. I keep doing panel 1. They'll know it's a double page splash because of the 2, 3. So we'll do splash. And we'll just do camera pull back so that they know what we're doing. And we'll do S and Batman. Sorry. And then we'll do some dialogue and we'll finish the issue in 2 pages. And they'll be like, Batman, is your mother's name?
I think the squirrel should just say squeak. Mr. Mirror Squirrel.
Squirrel. It is not. Why do you ask, Batman?
Because of course Batman speaks squirrel.
Batman.
Squeak, squeak, squeakum, squeak, squeaker.
Oh, we fucked it up. Batman v fighting that's gonna make me laugh for the rest of the fucking day.
This is amazing.
All right, and then we'll finish the issue. Then we shall fight.
And then a 20-page fight sequence, and just send it to Miguel and say Batman v Squirrel. I'm emailing this to myself. What's the location?
Why do you hate your artist? You gotta add so much. Your artist will know where it's located. All right, I think we're done. Right.
We are done. Guys, I want to thank you so much for coming. Did you have a good time?